So tonight, as Rich said, I'm going to talk certainly about the current state of our educational technology and also a little bit of the future as well. But first, I'm going to talk a little bit about our online students. A big part of what we do in educational technology deals with working with our online students. So our CLC Online student typically is an in-district student. We do have obviously some students that are from a greater distance, but for the most part our students are taking an online course because of the alternate delivery, because of the advantages that different type of delivery gives them, that they can take a course at all hours of the night and have a lot of the conveniences that come with our online courses. And then the last three are some of the attributes that we try to encourage our students, the ones that we find in our successful online students. That strong time management skill, that self-motivation, because obviously you need to be the one to make sure you're getting back to that material and working on those online courses, because there's not necessarily a time of the week that you're coming into class and getting encouraged. You have to have that self-starting, that self-motivation to stick with it. And the last one is the basic technology skills, and I put that on there because a lot of times we think of our students, especially our younger students, as automatically being technology savvy, and that's not always the case. They may be savvy to certain technologies that they're very interested in. That doesn't always translate to technology skills that we might want for them here at the college level. And so sometimes that plays a role in getting a student started in online courses. And then I kind of wanted to just give us some statistics about our online courses. We started online courses very early on compared to other community colleges, way back in 1997, 1998, which is a long time ago now, unfortunately. But we continue to be ranked in terms of offering quite high in the state, with a third in terms of the amount of offerings that we provide here, both that specifically online courses. And then the other neat thing that I found in preparing for tonight was as of spring 2015, 16% of our seats are taken in online, hybrid, or teleweb courses, most of those being online and hybrid. And the interesting thing about that is that if you looked at online as a campus, if you will, then it becomes the second most popular campus. The combination of South Lake and Lakeshore actually only makes up 12% of our seats. So that was kind of interesting to me as well. Shows how much of an impact our online and our hybrid courses have. And then I put a little fanciness in here in terms of the number of course offerings. If I start this, it'll actually be a little interactive graph there on the side where it goes through 5 semesters of our online and hybrid courses, or blended. We're starting to use the word blended now, which is sort of the standard term for those courses that incorporate a piece of the credit in technology. But you can see those bars stay pretty much similar in terms of our offering level. We stay pretty consistent, and we have for the past 5 semesters, so that's pretty good. And then, of course, student success, which is something that we're always keeping our eye on. We have a little bit of work to do, as you can see, in our online courses, and this is not unrealistic for what distance and online courses tend to find, because some students do get into online courses and don't understand what they're in for. That they are work, that there is rigor there, that they do have things to do and deadlines to meet. And I think that partially plays into some of these numbers that you see. And we are consistently working on this, and I'll talk about some of those things that we're doing to help with student success, especially as it relates to our online courses. And feel free, if you guys have any questions about any of this or want to discuss anything that you see as we go. And then certainly I think we'll have some time at the end to talk about any of this as well. So one of the things that certainly has played into what we've tried to do in increasing student success with online is a lot of the advancements in our faculty development, and this kind of goes to what Rich mentioned in the introduction, in that we are continuing to invest in faculty development especially, and in educational technology as well. And one of those things is additional educational technology staff, where my team has grown now. We've got another individual. Her name is Anita Gorski. She's an educational technology coordinator, and she has been fantastic. Really hit the ground running. The great thing about her is she actually just finished her master's degree in instructional technology right before she started with us. So brought in a lot of new ideas, a lot of energy. And then that next point about faculty development is that increased focus on accessibility. We have a lot of students that have special needs. We have a lot of concern for making sure that we have accommodations for those students, and that gets extra important when you start to talk about educational technology, where it can be very easy to, take on a new tool but not consider the fact that there might need to be accommodations to make sure that that tool is accessible for all of the students. So one of the nice things about that is our new educational technology coordinator, her previous job was actually in K-12, working in a special needs consortium. So she comes to us with a whole lot of experience in assistive technologies. And so we've really started to try and utilize some of her expertise and try to make the faculty as much aware of these issues as we can, because it's so much easier to work accessibility into what you're doing when you do it at the beginning. Okay, so many times I've had folks come to me and say, well, I have all this stuff already, all this content that I've created, and now I have this deaf student, and well, what am I going to do? And well, the answer is we have to go back and find a way to get that material to become accessible in order to use it. Other faculty development, we do a technology conference every other year, and so we'll be doing that again this academic year. And so those have been very successful in the past. We find some current trends and some of the new things that we're certainly doing, and we're promoting that to faculty. We're promoting that all through the year, but that technology conference is usually a good time to help focus faculty on some of the new things we might have. Another recent success in faculty development has been the mini technology sessions. What we did, now that we have multiple members on our team, we were able to do this, is we set up 15-minute time slots, and faculty could come with any question about any kind of technology that they had, whether it related to Google and or their mobile device that maybe they had a question about, anything they wanted. And we offered about 25 different opportunities, and I believe 24 of them were utilized. So we had very good success with that. Faculty could come with any kind of question, and we had one of our educational technology team members there to walk them through it.
One thing I'll say real quick, Scott,
Sure.
for the board. This is a very important piece in working with our faculty. We have many faculty who do a great job incorporating technology into their curriculum, but these kinds of professional development sessions not only expose them to what we currently are able to do, it provides them with, here are some new things and new trends that are out there. It's important that we get our faculty on board, and I think we have a lot of faculty who are very interested in this. But doing sessions like this just help incorporate that even more into the curriculum. So,
We just have a question for both of you guys.
Sure.
It says you mentioned that the technology conference for the faculty is every other year.
Yes.
Now we do know that information changes quite often. So this every other year seems like it's very archaic.
Well, what I would say about that is we're obviously doing things for faculty at all times. Every orientation session that we have, we're always there with a session that's related to educational technology. It might not be named just that, but we'll certainly be there about updates to the learning management system. We have one of those scheduled for this coming semester as well. So I think it's the formality of the technology conference is what we set up every other year, but there are always opportunities where we're reaching out and giving faculty an opportunity to come and learn about what's going on at that moment.
And Scott, correct me if I'm wrong, when we started that, it was every year, but what we found is that the attendance was such that we thought every other year would actually be better.
That is true as well.
So, the attendance could be because they don't understand the importance of having this topic. So, I guess my question / concern, whatever, is if the online registration number equates to the second largest campus here. Those were your words.
Yeah, online and blended together.
Wouldn't you think that it would have a little bit more importance with the faculty and staff? That's my question.
I don't think it doesn't have importance. I'm not sure what you're
Well, you said the
judging
attendance was low.
Mm-hmm.
So if the attendance for a formalized event is low, then perhaps the interest is low. Did that help me? I mean, that's not, I cannot extrapolate that.
I wouldn't say, in my experience, I wouldn't say that the interest is low. I think it comes down to the demands that they all have on their time and when we tried to place that conference in the past. The first one was extremely successful. We brought in a speaker from Northern Illinois and we had a very successful conference. And then I believe we repeated it the next year, but rather than having it be on a day of its own, we tried to integrate it into the orientation week, and that was not as successful. And I believe because there was too much competition with other things that people needed to see, and that's of course a very busy time for faculty as they're ramping up for the semester. So I think those were some of the factors that had issue at that point. But we could certainly work on doing that more. But again, I think there are always opportunities for them to learn what we're doing that's new. I think it's just that the formality of the technology conference, it hasn't been an every other year thing.
Okay.
But I hear what you're saying. And then the Quality Online Course Design Task Force is still in play. Obviously, it's a group of faculty where we're continually looking at what we're doing with our online courses and how they're designed and how they're effectively created, especially, not necessarily content, but the methods that we're using and how those are working for our students. And in addition to that, one of the focuses of that group also is that focus on accessibility, which we're continually keeping an eye on.
Before you go forward, can
Yeah.
you go back 2 slides?
I sure can.
You had the dancing
Yes.
bar graphs here.
So, yes.
So,
It was cool, maybe.
how many years can you say? You say
From spring 2013 to
2015,
last semester.
spring,
So
okay.
yeah, it goes through 5 semesters.
all right. So the number of courses does not look like it is growing at all. So in the last 2.5 years, I'm looking at what's that, like 220?
Yes. Yes, it's right around. It's right around 200, a little higher or a little
Okay.
lower. Yes.
So if we go to 2015, that's 2013.
Right.
That's slightly slightly less, or probably about the same.
They're very similar.
All right. So in 2.5 years, we've not added to our course offering. That is my question. Right?
Not significantly, no.
Okay.
But we're also talking about a period where we've had enrollment declines.
Okay.
The other thing, I'll just be very, very honest.
Please.
We have been focused on, if you go back to the other slide, if you could go back one more slide to the student success.
Yeah.
Yes.
Advanced one, right?
When it lets me.
There you go.
Sorry.
Yeah.
This is a very important slide.
Okay.
We've invested greatly in student success here at the college.